Hello, everyone. I'm a Rainbow. Welcome to Grab. I'm here today to show you how to use animations in Grab because every single person can design their own animated levels now. We're going to start with the basics, get a little bit more complex. Hopefully, you'll have all the tools you need to design your own animated levels just like this one. All right, let's jump in, have some fun, and get started. This is just a quick demonstration to show you that anything that is on your build list, anything at all, any of these shapes, with the exception of your start and stop areas, can be animated to do anything that you want. All right, we're going to start off with animation menu basics. And this is just everything on the animation menu. And so to get there, you have to select something and hit animate. And then there's the menu that you have to see. And speed. This controls how fast your animation is moving. I generally don't mess with this unless I need to speed it up or slow down the entire animation. This affects everything. All right, number of frames in your animation, you're limited to 500. If you ever use that many, I'll be shocked, but it's certainly possible. But if you get that far and it starts limiting things, then you'll know why. Add frame. This is also tied to the A button. This is essentially your starting position of your animation. And we're going to go ahead and press that A button. And you see it's frame 0 there. Now, to add a frame to another one, so we got to give it at least 2 positions for an animation. So there's the start. I'm going to pull it off to the side. I'm going to get those even. Let's go back. I'm going to pull it off to the side and say that's my second position. All you have to do is hit the A button and you've added a frame. Now, and it will automatically drop times in here. You can change those yourself, but let's go ahead and look at this one right now. And if I just play it, you see it's just going from there and then disappearing, but because it's set for every 0.3 of a second, it's just going really fast. So let's go ahead and stop that. And I want to go back to frame 0 there. And let's make this longer. So all you have to do is click on it. And let's take it a second to get that far. And then we'll go ahead and play it. And it's moving faster. Let's go ahead and stop. Now, what I want to do is I want this to repeat. I want it to go over, back and forth. This is where the make loop comes in because it will close the position between your frame 0 and the last frame that you have. All right, in this case, there's only 1. So when I say make loop, you'll see 2. And if I hit play, now it only added 1/3 of a second. So if you want that motion to be even, we would do that. You just click on it. Let's go 0, apply, and you can see you can do that while the animation's playing so you can see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and stop that. All right. And we'll go back to frame 0. Let's say you want it to do something else. You want to add another frame in between. So you have to figure out where that's going to be. And let's go to the first frame. Let's say after there we want it to go up. Let's pull it up and make sure you got the frame highlighted from the last one where it would have gone to. Now you're going to you can update a frame, which would change the relative position there. All right, so let's go ahead and update it. And now let's go ahead and play. All right, now we've got that stair step motion goes, but we don't want to just do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to this frame. We're all the way there. I want to drop it back down there, and I'm going to add a frame, and I want that between the first frame and the last frame. So I'm going to pick the first frame. I'm going to insert a frame. I'm going to say take a second to get there. And when I did that, I added this one. You see it bumped the time for the rest of these. Let's just go ahead and look at it. And that's how that works. Let's go ahead and stop it. I want this to get a little bit bigger. Let's kind of make a square. So let's pull it over. I'm just guessing on not aligning it very well right now. And before it goes down there, so we want to be here. We're going to insert a frame again. So that's A. And let's play it and see if that does what we're looking to do. All right, let's stop that. All right, that's the basics of the menu. And let's say you decide you don't want it to go to this position over here. Let's find it there. And if we remove that out of the stack, you can to do that, you want to make sure it's selected. See, it's slightly shaded. Remove it. Go ahead and play it. There we go. There's some basic animation for you. That's all the different frames you can go in here, with one exception. If you want to get rid of all the frames, just hit clear frames here and it's all gone. So if I go to play now, nothing's there and there's no position set. There's no animation there at all. All right. That's animation menu basics. All right. We've already talked about the menu. Now let's talk about the different motion you can get going with animations. Now, and before I just did a very simple square. You can move anything. It's how the block turns, twists, anything like that. And right now I've got mine set for 90 and I've selected blocks that are easy to see that they're moving. But to start with, let's go ahead and we'll animate this one. We're going to add a frame. We're going to rotate it, add a frame, rotate it, add a frame, rotate it, add a frame. If you want, you can just hit select loop to complete or do it. And honestly, I've gotten used to building without the make loop. That's relatively new as far as animations is concerned, but it's a good feature. Let's go ahead and take a look. So now we've got a spinning block. We'll stop that. And let's go to the last bit, which is also the first bit. I want to make this entire thing a little bit slower. So I'm going to go to the first block here. I'm going to call that 1 second. And you notice it just bumped in them. So what you'll end up with is kind of you'll see a short bit where it goes because it just bumps everything else. It doesn't make each one of those a second longer on top of the one before it. So you have to do that manually. So if you want them to be even, you would have to do all of that yourself. Let's go ahead and back there. I'm going to clear these frames. Now you can go any direction, any movement that you want. So for instance, we're going to start frame there. I'm going to rotate here. I'm going to shove it over here and add the second frame. I'm going to make it a little longer because I don't want it super speedy. So oops, not 5 seconds. We'll go half a second. And then I'm going to flip it the other direction. I'm going to pull it over here. I'm just going to literally grab it like that. I'm going to add another frame. I'm going to call that 2 seconds because we want to see this motion. Then I'm going to close it off by, say, make loop. So it should be one more turn and come back to its starting position. Let's go ahead and look at that. So you see, it's all about how you turn it any way you want. Let's go ahead and go there. And I'm going to clear the frames again. I tend to leave mine locked down in 90, but you don't. You can make anything you want. So at snap 0, I use that to make a loop. And let's look at that. Clear the frames. So you can do anything you want right there. And any point that you create is the motion that will be done. So, and it's between the one frame and the next frame, the block or building material that you select has to get into that position. And how fast you do it depends on you, what you're trying to accomplish with your animation. But you can see, twist, turn, do anything you want with it. All right, next we're going to talk about grouping and how that creates more complex animations. All right. So to get there, what we want to do is let's go ahead and ungroup him, and we want to make some subtle alterations to all the bits so that they're animated just a little bit. So you select that, let's add a frame, and I'm just going to turn the head just a little bit. And if I jump through some of these and speed them up, it's the same thing. Once you've seen it, you don't need to see it over and over again. But so now you can see all the bits that make up the character are all moving a little bit. And then when we group those, we're going to animate that. And then we can create our own animations from there. So let's animate that. And we're going to turn a little bit. And I'm just going to do something slow. And I'm doing this in a kind of a slow, awkward fashion, just so you guys can sort of see how this whole thing goes. If I was doing it at regular speed, it'd be a lot faster. All right, let's make the loop. Oh, that last one's got to go, I think. Go to, well, that's better. Let's get rid of this one. We're going to remove that frame. We'll go there, and let's go ahead and play it. It's a little stuck on that last one. And let's go. Let's say you made that and you say, hey, it's a little bit too fast. This is where the speed comes in. Let's drop this down to 30%. Let's play that out and see how it looks. All right, there you go. That's how you group animations to make more complex animations. All right, now we're going to come up with a few handy tips that things that are good to know. And if you look at this animation in front of me, it looks like it appears and disappears from one place to another. It actually doesn't. It's actually in two places at one time, which can't happen, but that's the way your eye perceives it. And this is handy for having things just to show up when you want them to. So if we go to animate, we'll take a look at this and we'll step through this. All right, that's the 0 point, and I have it sit there for 3 seconds. And then at 3 seconds, I tell it it's supposed to be there, and I have it sit there for 3 more seconds to 6 seconds. And at 6 seconds, I tell it to go back, and that's a loop. All right. And that's handy. Now, one of the things to remember is they draw a point between the first and the last frame of the animation. It doesn't matter where it is or how long it is. So it's actually going from here to here. Oops. It's actually going from here to here in a straight line. So if you're in between it, you will get hit by whatever that is. So if you're standing there, it will affect you. All right. And to see that, let's jump up a little bit bigger. I got this big ice ball right there jumping from side to side on the platform. Let's get in here and take a little quicker look. Should be about right here. And you'll notice as it went through, it knocked me out of the way. All right. And depending on where I'm standing, right in here, because it's round, it knocks you straight into the wall. So you will interact with those objects just like that. So remember, they are moving in a straight line between those 2 points. So anything in between will be affected by them. Now, one way you can use this is to actually take your animation and put it someplace where you can't see one side of it if you want it to show up. So for instance, I'm going to put it on that side of the wall. And when I drop in, you'll see it pop in and out. Oh, I'm getting hit by my other animation. It just looks like it shows up magically. And if I walk over here, it might be too high for me to hit me. It is too high to hit me, but all right. Another handy tip is that you can interact with the materials that are animated. For instance, I'm just going to hold on to this block, and you see it has taken me from there to here. And if you teleport it from one place to another, if you're hanging on, you'll go with it, or if you're a part of it. And let's watch this while I'm on top of it. See what happens. Is it going to throw me, or do I stay with it? Whoa. There we go. You've got your very own magic carpet, and you can do anything you want with those materials. All right, everybody, for my last handy tip, I'm going to show you how to combine multiple animations to create new effects. And this is just a demonstration. I mean, you can let your imagination go wild. You can see I've got a little platform here going up and down. All right, cool if that's what you want. However, I would like this thing to go up and down and go around in a circle. So that is possible. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually use another block. And for right now, I'm just going to use a gravity block right here. And I'm going to set it right there because I want to kind of keep it in line with the other one. And I'm just going to pull it out here. And the gravity block's not doing anything right now. So let's group those two. And you guys know how to do that already, so let's group it. And when I select the group, we're going to animate. And we'll create a frame. And I don't want it to move too fast, but we're going to go, let's add that. Let's call it 3 seconds. Go again, another 3 seconds. One more time. 9 seconds, and so all the way around would be 12. I'll add that frame. You could have done the make loop thing, but I kind of got used to not doing that. All right, and so this should create an animation where the platform goes up and down and goes round and round. And you might say, why did I use a gravity block? Well, the gravity blocks, you can't really see them. So if I used another block that was just spinning around out there, it might be distracting. That one, the gravity block, you don't really see it so much. So there we go. We've got a platform going up and down, which I can get up on top of. And it's also going around in a circle. And there's my little gravity block there, which could be as big or as small as you want. So it's literally not going to affect anything. I liked it when they introduced the gravity blocks because it was an easy way to kind of have another build material that you don't see and isn't very distracting. And if you want to get that even more complex, say you wanted to add a little thing, or you want to put some tilt or something in there, take that and let's add. I'm just going to grab another block. I'm going to throw it off here to the side where it won't affect it. And now if you grab all of these, oops, come on, let's group those. Now I'm going to animate this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, let's animate, add a frame. I'm going to leave it here. I want to leave it here for 10 seconds. And then we're going to move this whole thing like this. Let's add a frame. And because I want it to happen instantaneously, we'll go automatically. And then we're going to add a frame. And I'm going to leave it for, oops, another 10 seconds. And then we're going to go back there to our starting point. We'll add a frame, and we want that to happen at 20 seconds. So I'm going around in a circle. The block's not doing anything. It's just there. And when it moves, we go with it. And the animation goes with it. All right. If that's not blowing your mind, nothing will. But you can see how you can keep combining these things to create very interesting effects. All right, everybody, I've given you the basics. I've shown you what you can work with. Go out, make those tools your own, come up with your own techniques. I want you to get out there and start creating stuff like this. I'm excited to see what the community comes up with. If you have questions, please hit me up in the comments. If you're really proud of some level you created, post a URL in the comments. I'll allow that. Other people can find it that way. Or even better, if you haven't joined the Discord, get on the Discord, drop your levels there, let everybody in the community see those things. All right, everybody, let's get out there and have some fun. All righty.